creative ways to solve the labor shortage in your warehouse. Joining us today to speak about that, Ken Ramoutar, Chief Marketing Officer at Lucas Systems. Ken, it's good to see you. Welcome.
Thanks, Russell. Glad to be here.
Ken, it's no secret that labor shortage is a problem, throughout the country, throughout the supply chain, but certainly there are issues that are going on in the distribution center, in the warehouse. Just walk us through that. What are we seeing throughout the industry?
Yeah, great question, Russell. You know, virtually every one of my customers tells me they have labor problems. You know, so it is ubiquitous across the industry, and many are just struggling with what do we do. Many of them are trying to raise wages, figure out different benefit packages, but they're all competing for essentially a shrinking workforce.
Let me ask you a question though. How is that impacting their operations? If they're having difficulty getting sufficient staffing, how is that impacting things?
Oh, it's impacting in a big way, which is why the pain level is very high. In some cases, some of our customers just simply don't have enough people to get the work done. They cannot get the orders out, they cannot meet their customer commitments. In some cases, they have to bring in a lot of temporary staff, which that means they have to suffer in retraining people, the quality of the work that's being done. It is probably the #1 pain point right now in the industry.
So from picking and packing and order management and replenishment and fulfillment operations, the whole 9 yards is undergoing stress because of the labor shortage. Is that fair to say?
That's absolutely right. And you know, it's causing a great stress on the management of the operations, having to move people around. Who's going to show up for this shift? What work can they get done? So they're constantly moving the operation around to manage with what they have to work with versus the other way around.
Now, you know, I guess one can go about trying to solve a problem in a tried and failed way, or you can be creative about doing it. Now, without mentioning any of your clients by name, what are some of the things that they've been doing that really have not worked out very well?
Well, I think it's the standard approach, which is going out and trying to hire and putting a lot of effort around hiring and doing things like raising wages, which they have to. But most of that's not really working.
So
right?
Throwing money at the problem isn't necessarily going to solve the problem.
That's correct. There simply is just a competition for the same workforce. And so what they're realizing, many of them, is that they're really competing now for this workforce, and they're competing against other distribution centers and their operations. So the question now, I think, has changed from how do I hire more people to how do I have people want to work at my operation more than my competitor's operation, and how will I keep them there?
Okay, so I'm one of your customers. I'm posing that question to you. What are you going to tell me?
Yeah, I think you need to think about that whole problem a little bit differently now as an operator, right? So a couple of things. What is it in my operations that's going to be attractive to a warehouse associate? They have choices, and it's not just in the warehouse. They can work outside of a warehouse, which is what they're doing, right? So things like the tech-enabled warehouse. What tools am I going to get as a worker that's going to make my job easier, right? If the tools are better and my job is easier, I'm more likely to work in your operation. How much travel am I going to have to do? Do I have to walk up and down this warehouse maybe 8-10 miles a day? Or do you have systems that minimize the amount of travel that I have to take? How safe is it here? Do you have tools and other technologies that make it safer for me to work here? I want to work in a safe warehouse. Well, everybody would say their warehouse is safe. There are technologies that make it easier for workers to do their jobs. And I think that's the competitive battlefront right now for labor.
So I guess what I'm hearing is that while throwing money at people in terms of raising their salaries is not necessarily going to solve the problem, investing money, let's be real what we're talking about, in technologies may very well address the situation and make my facility more attractive.
That's right.
It may not only be attractive, but I may be able to retain people.
Yeah, especially the younger workforce, which is really where you really want to try to attract and retain talent.
Why is that? Tell me why that's an attractive group to target.
Yeah, that's an attractive group for a couple of reasons. One is, you know, there is more workforce down there available in general population. The second is they have plenty of choices, okay, at the wages that you can make in a warehouse or distribution center, there are choices. And if they have choices, they're going to look at what's an attractive job for me, right? Is this a career? Is this a place I want to spend more than 6 months or a year? Can I grow here? Is this a place I'm going to learn new things?
Mm-hmm. So if, once again, if I'm one of your prospective clients and I want to attract these people, but this business about putting money into the operation, it gives me pause. What are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me if I don't make these kinds of investments in sufficient technologies that I am sealing my doom? Is that what you're telling me?
I think what you're likely to find is you're going to fall behind your competition when you're competing for a quality workforce, and so eventually it will erode your ability to deliver to your customers.
So in fact, the ROI is there. I make those investments and I am going to recoup it, eventually. Typically, what kind of time are we talking about before I'm going to make that?
Well, I think, Lucas is in this business, and we see, this is one of the areas that our customers see fairly rapid returns. You can invest in what I call human-enabled technology and see returns in 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
What does human-enabled technology mean? Let's define that.
Yeah, that means technology that a worker uses. These are things like voice-controlled, voice-directed warehousing, headsets and voice-directed work. These are tools that help you travel less because there's optimization behind the work that you have to do and it's all done for you. Those kinds of tools.
You make a persuasive argument. Unfortunately for you, I'm not in the business. but somebody hearing this video, quite frankly, I think you may have convinced them. You've just saved them some money. Ken, I appreciate it. I know you're busy here at the conference, but you found time to speak with us about this really pressing and important topic. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Russell.
Ken Ramoutar, Lucas Systems, speaking with us today about your worker shortage in your warehouse, how you can overcome that. Thanks for watching.